Hi, in this video I will give you some small insights of my status of my rescuing the world with my normally called fusion. Nuclear fusion is the word at the moment everybody hopes how to rescue the fusion, and I want to show you why I'm not afraid to compete with all those big companies here in the background. Now I switch now to the deep insights, the values of my, or the basics of my invention. So here on Wikipedia, it's definitely written. This is Wikipedia, and it describes the Cockcroft-Walton accelerator. And inside there you see this big machine, this one, the big machine, that's an accelerator, that's a ultra high voltage source with which is multiplying the voltages. It's in the size of a building. And those two scientists, Cockcroft and Walton, this was Cockcroft and Mr. Walton, in the Cambridge, England, they did some experiments. They had to create all that stuff by themselves. And now we come to the point, they accelerated a proton and they've shot it to a lithium. Lithium is normally in as a 7 subparts isotope. And it created helium and gave up the 7.35 million electron volt. So what they had to do, they posted this particle with 300 kilovolt, so 0.3 MeV, and gave up. The result was 17 million electron volt. The reason why they did it in this time, somewhere in 1951, they got the Nobel Prize, but they did it in 1930, somewhere in there, and they did it to split the atom. That's what written in there, split the atom, because before there, nobody knew what's inside of an atom. And all the fusion stuff, which you see there, is inside the atom. We call it now nuclear fusion. And you may say, when it's written there, why does nobody use that stuff? And a simple question is split in 2 or 3 parts. One point is if you want to use it like I do in my small boxes. Oh, is my box there somewhere? Here is my box. These ones, if I want to keep it in this way, then you're not able to take a device which is in the size of a building. So, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to do that, to solve that problem. So this is at least one point. And the other point is that they found out this one. The gain of 17-fold stuff comes only when you have a resonance frequency, and there's a small, they call it barn. Meanwhile, I explained it several times to my followers what a barn is, and I explained it by billiard playing. And I also solved this one. So, but what we have to do, and why I'm not afraid, is I'm not afraid of all the other stuff in there. And I want to show you some further things. Straight on my desktop screen. What you see there is, that's what I did in the past. 1932. Walton was sitting there in a small tent and exploding that stuff here in this tube. That's an accelerator tube. And somehow inside there was some sparkling. This was the result. And yeah, they observed there the splitting of the atom. That's why they got the Nobel Prize. They were not interested in gaining some energy. This is in the Cavendish laboratory. That's the accelerator. And that's only the accelerator. The other stuff, you have seen the other stuff. And that's the size of one of those multipliers. It's called high voltage multipliers. That's in CERN. And you see, you can't handle this. And even then, even if you have this one, that's no solution. It's no solution. Now we see, am I afraid of all that big money, the big companies? Marvel Fusion. Marvel Fusion, that's done by laser technology. They focus everything on one block, and then they say, okay, we ignite, we adjust everything in a point, and when we pull all lasers on there, and the energy will explode that stuff. But the point is, the readjustment needs a lot of time. So you do one shot and then it's done. Okay, so this building is another high voltage source, but you can't. This is not the solution. You cannot use this one as a solution in your cellar. Yep. And this one is the other one. It's in Garching in Munich, and it's also not a size which is for everybody used. And now this one is the Commonwealth Fusion System in Massachusetts, and that's the Broad of America, where they want to do this with Spark, with the project Spark. It's also fusion, and these are those one of those rings where they keep something in a tokamak like a donut shape. And they got a lot of money there, but I didn't give this one. And now we have Marvel Fusion, Proxima Fusion, Focus Fusion, and this is Laser Vision, and all that stuff is $1 billion bet. That's the point. $1 billion bet means this is the invention of the century. Of this century, that's the bet which is running there. Now Sprint, and there's the German ones, they say, okay, we are also proud to do something. We give you a tip of money, and that's it. And now we are in America. There are a little bit more. That's where Microsoft Bill Gates is. They said, okay, the Eni company, they pay $1 billion offtake agreement. So they say, okay, we buy your energy as soon as it's running. And that's how they invested. So and this is about we're starting in Germany, but we're always ending in America or in China. And this is, again, the formula which creates a lot of energy. And that's why I am not afraid to do my stuff. And this is from Microsoft, one somewhere where Microsoft was involved. So this is TAE, where they push two stuff into one, and that's the fusion, which happens there. They compress it. This is founded by Google. It's also TAE. 150 million. You see, they get a lot of money. This should be my team. I will be so proud to have this one as my team. And now we are back in Korea. The Koreans, Asia is also very, very working on this, and I'm sure this one will work as a good stuff. That's a tokamak principle. So this is the tokamak, where it's inside Commonwealth, and this is a new stuff which is in Albuquerque, in New Mexico, where they are pushing the energy here. They ignite some by capacitors, and it's all bundled in here and in a small drop which will explode and kept in its stuff. So So this was my explanation, and this was also that I want to say, no, I'm not afraid. I will win the challenge even if I'm alone. And yes, I know my patent applications, they fix the way which I'm going by this acceleration from Cockcroft-Walton. I'm a stupid one. I'm the electrical engineer, but I know how to do. You can't pay by money.